Hey you guys, it's Dory. Welcome back. I wanted to film another video. I just finished filming one. But while I'm in a good mood and my son is occupied, I really wanted to do a gaming video and I wanted to recommend some games for depression or sadness. Because as you guys know, I have been going through a lot of grief and today is one of the better days. My mood is up, but it goes up and down. Super up how it is now, and then sometimes it goes really low. But I want to share with you guys some of the games that I have found to work really well for if you're in a down mood, a low state, something that can transport you into a different world or take your mind off things to where you can have a little bit of fun and be a kid again. I've been talking to quite a few of my friends that I've grown up with, people maybe that I recently met online, and it seems like a lot of people are going through depression or some sort of hard time. And I swear, ever since I gave birth to my son and I went through my postpartum period and things like that, I had a lot of postpartum rage rather than depression. I was the happiest woman ever after I had my son, but I had a lot of rage for whatever reason. It could be hormonal, it could be what people talk about with postpartum, but I rage played, let's see, I have a pile of games here. The first game I want to recommend, and it doesn't have to be this specific one because there's a lot in the franchise, but when my son was a newborn and into maybe 6-7 months postpartum, I would rage play Monster Hunter Rise during his nap time. I had I don't know what it was. I know probably a lot of women experience postpartum depression or anxiety and things like that. I experienced postpartum rage and I did have some anxiety moments. I had a lot of bad dreams about my son around then. Dreams like he was in an accident or in danger and things like that. That's what would give me anxiety. So it's like I would panic if he even went close to the street or went close to the stairs. But other than that, I did have a lot of postpartum rage. And so I would rage play Monster Hunter Rise. And this game, I don't even know if it's a storyline attached to this game at all, but you're going around killing these massive monsters in this world. It's kind of an open world. I've never really paid attention to if there is a story attached to this game. But I would just go on the Monster Hunter mission and I would just beat the hell out of these crazy monsters. And it was really fun. And by the time my son would wake up from his nap, I would be ready to go about the rest of the day. And so that's my first recommendation, specifically for postpartum rage, or if you just have some aggression that you need to let out. Monster Hunter Rise is really good, but there's a ton of Monster Hunter games out there. So I would recommend some of those franchise games if you're interested. The next game is I'm gonna recommend this for like grief and sadness. I haven't played it yet. It's still in the film. I bought this digitally, 2021. So I bought this digitally 4 years ago, and it was one of the first games that I played on my Nintendo Switch. This is, if you love Studio Ghibli, if you love Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, things like that, I recently recommended this to a friend. She's going through depression as well for her own reasons. And I recommended Nino Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. I will never forget this game. I love it. If you love Studio Ghibli, this does feel like you're in Spirited Away. It feels like you're in Princess Mononoke, one of those Studio Ghibli films that we all know and love. This is the perfect game if you love that. It makes me so happy. You have the talking animals, you have the different worlds, you have magic. It just transports you into that fantasy life. And it does have battle in it. There is a storyline. It's a beautiful story. I'm not gonna ruin it for you, but this is an unforgettable game. And I did buy it. I love it so much that I bought it digitally the first time. And then after I finished the game, I was so in love with it that I bought it physically, and I haven't taken it out the wrapping. I bought this years ago and I haven't taken it out the wrapping because I've already played it. And I also, again, purchased it during the Steam summer sale so I could have it on my Steam. Oops, sorry, I dropped the game, but I did again purchase it on the Steam summer sale for I think $7 this past month during the summer sale, so I can play it for the second time on my Steam Deck OLED this time. But I highly recommend that game. If you love Spirited Away, there's a Nino Kuni movie or show on Netflix. It's nothing like the game. This is just an original story. It is about grief, and I don't want to go into it, but it's not like sad. It's just a really good game. I highly recommend it. Lots of magic, lots of battle. It's about wizards and witches, of course, and amazing game. The next game, I don't own it. I thought I owned it physically, but I would like to recommend Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I only own Tears of the Kingdom physically, but I recommend Breath of the Wild. I did like Breath of the Wild better than Tears of the Kingdom. They were both good, but I feel like this was repetitive of Breath of the Wild, and I didn't really like the mechanics all too much about, like, if you've ever played both. Gluing things together, that kind of thing. I don't know how to. But Breath of the Wild was really beautiful if you love scenery and travel and things like that. The world was amazing. It was so good. And that was my first Zelda game, and I hurried up and purchased Tears of the Kingdom afterwards. And I'm not going to say that this isn't good, but Breath of the Wild was like very first, I would say, open world concept, I guess, for the Zelda story. And this follow-up, it didn't really seem too much like a continuation, but it just felt like another Breath of the Wild. So I just want to recommend the original. I can't go the whole video without recommending Stardew Valley. That is a farming sim game, but there's also a lot of magic and adventure, and you inherit this farm from your grandfather. Everybody knows it's a classic game. It's like pixel art, but it's just so cozy and it makes you so happy. It's just one of those things that has a special place in my heart. So everybody talks about Stardew Valley, so I'm not gonna go too into it, but I didn't want to go this whole video without recommending Stardew Valley. Another one is a game that I played on my PS5 this year before all of the deaths and everything happened. I played a game called Cult of the Lamb on PS5. It was the first game I played on my PS5 since my son was 6 months old. I hadn't played anything. I had to wipe dust off of my PS5, but played a game called Cult of the Lamb. Mine has several DLCs, so it feels like it is a short game. You can make it difficult or you can make it very easy. Even the easy setting isn't all that easy when it comes to battle and things, but I love this game. If you love dark, twisted comedy, horror movies, if you're interested in cults, you have to make a cult, a congregation to worship you. It's very dark. It is very demonic. So if you're very religious and you're triggered by that kind of thing, do not play that game because you will get triggered. I believe in God and things like that. So there was some triggering aspects of it, but it is so darkly funny, very demonic. And it's just like some of the things that we had to do in that game. I was just like, it was just a lot. But it's very fun. The battle is great. The little things that you have to do in the game is really fun, and it could be really funny too. So I laughed so much in that game. I could not believe who came up with the concept of Cult of the Lamb. You're literally a lamb, and you have this congregation of creatures that you have to save and bring into your cult, and you have to build your own society thing in it. It is so funny. And ever since I started going through this, I kind of wanted to pick it up already. It's only been a month and a half since I first played it. But ever since all these things started hitting me and I started going down the rabbit hole in my head, just trying to get through it, I really wanted to just pick up that game and play it again because I laughed so much in that game. Playing it, it was just so funny. So I have to recommend Cult of the Lamb. Another one, another game I want to recommend may not be for everybody, I know for sure, because it is a Souls-like game and I'm still playing it. I think it's been 3 weeks that I've been playing this game. I've been taking my time. There was a period where my son let me play Lies of P, which is what I'm recommending. He let me play Lies of P all day and he was cheering me on. I started playing at 9:30 in the morning and I thought I was gonna play for like an hour. I usually do after breakfast if I don't have anything going on. I'll put a game on and I'll play for an hour and then we'll go on about our day because he's usually chill doing his own thing after breakfast. But there was one time where I really needed it. I was really down. I just did not want to leave the house or anything. And he let me play from like 9:30 in the morning till 3:30 in the afternoon and he took a nap. And the whole time he was like super hyped. He was like, he grabbed his weapons and he was at the TV and he was cheering me on and stuff like that. He loved watching me play that game and I was able to play all day. We took a nap at 3:30. And then when he woke up at around like 5, I played again and for 2 or 3 more hours. And it was just a great day. That never happened again. I don't know if he's ever let me play video games all day again like that, but I've been playing that game. It is really hard. I remember telling my husband, I don't think I'm going to finish this game for a year. It's my first Souls-like. Souls-like are notoriously difficult games, but the story is so good. It's so beautiful that I don't want to quit. So I do recommend Lies of P. Don't be intimidated, I would say. I did put it down for a week for his birthday because I was like, it was making me rage. But since I've been going through like real life grief, playing that game, it just kind of became just another game. I didn't take it too seriously. I didn't rage. It was just a game. You just respawn and you try again and you get better, you learn the game, you figure it out, and you just kind of get good. That's just how it is. And ever since I played Lies of P, other games that I thought were hard previously, years ago, like Hollow Knight, which is my favorite game of all time, playing that after Lies of P made Hollow Knight super easy. Even with all the crazy platforming going through the Path of Pain and things in Hollow Knight and all the Coliseum of Fools, the battles, it just made Hollow Knight seem super easy to me. I was just getting through it. I was just beating the bosses super easy. Because Lies of P is super hard. So it just made every single other game seem super easy, and now I want to play more Souls-likes. So even though Hollow Knight is my favorite game of all time, it's a comfort game for me because it is my favorite game. So I'm not sure if I want to recommend Hollow Knight for depression or sadness or anything like that, but it's a good game if you want to try it. Oh, another game that I can recommend if you like movies like Coraline or Nightmare Before Christmas, that kind of animation, like clay, it's not really claymation, but Coraline, Nightmare Before Christmas, things like that. I want to recommend to you Lost in Random. So this is a game that I also played. I can't remember if I played it right before I married my husband or right after, because we were separated for 3 months right after we got married. Military life, right? So I played this game 4 years ago. It's a short game. You can wake up in the morning and you could be done with this game by the time you go to sleep. I played it one time in my house when I was still living by myself. I played it again when my husband came and got me, and we had to go on a road trip from here to Seattle, from Texas to Seattle. I played it on that road trip and I was done from the time we left. I think I started when we were in New Mexico and I finished it when we crossed into Washington. And taking breaks, of course, because it's a road trip. We were having fun. We were visiting different places, family on the way and things like that. So I was taking breaks from the game, but I would say a cool 8 hours of gameplay. But it is such a fun game. It's really cute. You're playing with a friend that's like a dice, and he like rolls and you get different abilities, and you're going to rescue a friend that came up missing in a different world called Random. And it's a hard game to really explain, but if you like Coraline, this game reminds me of being in Coraline. It's such a good game, and I recently got it again. I purchased it again. I bought it once digitally for my Nintendo Switch 4 years ago, and then Steam on the summer sale, they had a bundle deal. And I didn't know that they came out with another installment this year. It's called The Eternal Die. So I was like, oh, great. I wanted to play Lost in Random again anyway. Such a fun game, so cute. And it's a pretty short game in comparison to something like Lies of P. But it's a short game, like Cult of a Lamb short. But they bought it back on with a bundle deal for the sequel, which is called The Eternal Die. So now I'm going to play Lost in Random and then follow it up with the sequel and see how that is. I haven't exactly looked up any sort of gameplays or reviews on the sequel to see how well that did, but I really love Lost in Random. I feel like that's a game that I can go back and play all the time here and there and not get bored or fed up with it. It is such a fun game. It's funny, it's fun, it's unique concept. And if you like Coraline, my son especially loves Coraline, which is weird. I feel like it's a dark story, but it is a really good game. I would love to recommend that to you if you haven't heard of it. I tend to gravitate towards more indie games, like independent games rather than big names like Crash Bandicoot or something like that. But I highly recommend that game in particular. I would say another game is, I feel like it's a cross between a cozy game and a battle heavy game, but it's kind of satisfying, and it may not, I don't know. I know not every game is for everybody, but I would like to recommend, I think this is gonna be my last game. This is called Sakuna of Rice and Ruin. This is also kind of a short game, but I love it. It's kind of satisfying because you are playing this demon child. I think she's a demon. I think she's part human, part demon. And she has to essentially prove her worth to the gods, I guess. She's kind of mischievous. She gets in a lot of trouble. And so it's like you have to battle like these mystical monsters and develop your powers as this like a divine creature. You know how video games are. So you have to learn how to cultivate rice. It takes place in Japan. You have to cultivate rice. The better you get at growing your rice and doing all of that, you create new abilities through that, and then you increase your battle powers. I don't know how to describe it, but I played this game only one time, and I felt like the mechanics of growing rice in your rice paddy, it felt so authentic. You really feel like you are in Japan growing rice. This is a years-long tradition. And I learned so much about that process, and I feel like that was the most memorable part of the game. The battle is great, and there's some funny moments because you're not just living, you are in exile in this game. You've been exiled, but you do have friends that you are living with, and you're feeding them, and you're talking to them, and they're helping you through life and things like that. But I feel like the growing rice part was like the most memorable part for me, and it was so satisfying, and I loved it. I don't remember too much about the story. It's been a few years since I played it, but I do want to recommend this one. If you do cozy games, you do have to battle, but it's a cute game, and it's kind of short too. But that is all the games that I can think of right now off the top of my head that I would like to recommend to you guys if you're going through any sort of sad period or anything like that in your life. If you have any recommendations for me, please let me know. I'm always looking for new games. I love indie games. I love cozy games, but sometimes I like games that have a little bit of a challenge to it, especially now after playing Lies of P. I have Black Myth Wukong that I still have to play after that. That's another Souls-like, and I do kind of want to play Elden Ring. I think playing Lies of P and just keep like making myself keep going through Lies of P is building my confidence to where now I just want to go play all the Souls-likes that I've been interested in because I'm like, I can do it, you know what I mean? So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.